How to think in English naturally. Before you can speak English fluently, you must learn how to think in it. Right now, your brain is acting like a slow translator. If you don't change your internal dialogue, you will always be one step behind. Does this sound familiar? You are in a conversation. Someone asks you a simple question. You know the answer. You know the grammar. But there is a long, painful silence. Inside your head, a heavy machine is working. You hear the words in your native language. You try to find the English match. You check the grammar rules. You build the sentence brick by brick. By the time you are ready to speak, the moment is gone. The group is talking about something else. You feel frustrated. You feel like your English is broken. But your English isn't broken. Your process is just too slow. Most students learn English like a math problem. They believe fluency is about memorizing more rules. But true fluency is not about how much you know. It is about how fast your brain can access what you already have. To speak without fear, you must stop being a translator. You must become a thinker. You need to remove the middleman between your thoughts and your voice. Today, I am going to show you how to rewire your brain. We are going to build a direct connection between your world and your English. You will learn the 4 steps to turn that quiet voice in your head into a natural English speaker. So before we fix the problem, we must understand why it happens. Chapter 1. The translation delay. The translation delay is the invisible wall between you and the person you are talking to. Have you ever wondered why you feel so tired after speaking English for only 10 minutes? It is not because English is hard. It is because you are doing double the work. Imagine you are trying to cross a river. A fluent speaker has a direct bridge. They think of an idea, and the English words appear instantly. They are walking on solid ground. But when you translate, you don't have a bridge. Instead, you have to get into a small boat. You take your thought in your native language, row it across the water, change it into English on the other side, and then deliver it. Then, you have to row back to get the next thought. This rowing back and forth is exhausting. This is what we call the translation delay. It is that split-second pause that makes you look horizontal and hesitant. It makes you lose your rhythm. And the worst part? It creates a high risk of error. When you translate from your native language, you often use the wrong word order. You use expressions that don't exist in English. You are trying to force one language into the skin of another. It never fits perfectly. I want you to realize something important. Your brain is a powerful computer, but translation is a very heavy program. It uses all your RAM. It uses all your energy. Because you are so busy translating, you stop listening to the other person. You are too busy inside your own head. This is why you can understand a movie perfectly, but you cannot speak during a dinner party. Your input speed is fast, but your processing speed is slow. If you want to be fluent, you must close the translation office in your brain. You must stop being an interpreter and start being a resident of the English language. Later in this video, I will show you a simple habit to break this cycle. But first, we need to stop the engine. We need to go back to the basics of how humans actually learn to speak. Think about a small child. When a child sees a red fruit, they don't think of a word in a different language first. They see the fruit and they hear the sound. Apple. The object and the sound are glued together. To find your fluency, you must learn to glue English sounds directly to your reality. So, How do we start? We start with the things you can touch. Chapter 2. Labeling your reality. Most learners try to start at the finish line. They try to have deep philosophical conversations in their head, and when they fail, they give up. But you don't start a marathon by running 40 kilometers. You start by taking one step. The first step to thinking in English is a technique I call labeling your reality. It is the most basic way to kill the translator. Instead of building complex sentences, you are going to focus on single words. The goal here is simple. Stop the native language from entering the room. Think about the room you are in right now. You are surrounded by objects. Usually, your brain labels these objects in your mother tongue without you even noticing. You see a place to sit, and your brain says Scylla or chaise or sandally. We need to change those labels. I want to try a mini exercise with you right now. Don't worry. It's very simple. Look away from the screen. Look around your room. I want you to name 3 things you see in English. Just the words. No sentences. Go. Did you do it? Maybe you saw a window. Maybe a cup. Maybe a phone. This feels almost too easy, doesn't it? You might think, how is saying lamp going to help me speak fluently? Here is the secret. When you looked at that lamp and said the English word, you didn't have time to translate. The connection was direct. Eyes to object, brain to English. For one tiny second, you were thinking in English. The problem is that we don't do this enough. We only do it in a classroom. I want you to make this a game. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, look at your alarm clock. Don't let your native language speak. Say clock. When you brush your teeth, say toothbrush. When you do this, you are teaching your brain that English is not a school subject. English is a tool to describe your life. You are building the foundation of the bridge we talked about earlier. By labeling your reality, you are clearing the fog. You are making the English words heavy and the native words light. Most people skip this step because they think they are too advanced for it. But even advanced speakers do this when they learn new topics. If you can't name the things in your kitchen in English, how can you expect to talk about a business project? Start small. Build the muscle. Because once you can label the world, you can start to describe what is happening in it. And that is where the real magic begins. Chapter 3. The Internal Narrator. Once you can name the objects around you, it is time to give them movement. Think of your life like a movie. In every movie, there is a story happening. Usually, you are the main character, but you are also the director. To think in English, you must now become the narrator. This is the second step, the internal narrator. Most learners wait for a conversation to practice speaking. They wait for a teacher or a language partner. But you don't need a partner to practice thinking. You have yourself. And you are with yourself 24 hours a day. The internal narrator is a simple habit of describing your daily actions as they happen. You don't say these things out loud. You say them inside your mind. Imagine you are in your kitchen. Instead of just making coffee in silence, you narrate the process. Your internal voice says, I am opening the cupboard. I am taking out my favorite mug. Now, I am pouring the water. It sounds very simple, right? But look at what is happening in your brain. You are practicing the present continuous tense without opening a grammar book. You are using verbs, nouns, and prepositions in a natural flow. Most importantly, you are doing it in real time. When you narrate your life, there is no pressure. No one is watching you. No one is judging your pronunciation. If you forget a word, you don't freeze in embarrassment. You just find a different way to say it, or you make a mental note to look it up later. Maybe this has happened to you. You try to speak English in a meeting, and you can't remember the verb to send. Your mind goes blank. But if you have been narrating your day, I am sending this email. I am sending a text. I am sending a gift. The word is already at the front of your brain. It is warm. It is ready to be used. The internal narrator technique turns your boring daily routines into a private language lab. Whether you are driving to work, washing the dishes, or walking the dog, you can be practicing. I am turning left. The sun is bright today. That dog is running fast. You are moving from single words to short, connected thoughts. You are starting to build the rhythm of the language. You are no longer just looking at the world. You are interacting with it through English. But there is a catch. Sometimes, even when we know the words, they don't feel real to us. They feel like cold, dry facts from a dictionary. To make English truly yours, we have to go deeper than just actions. We have to talk about how you feel. Chapter 4. Emotional Anchoring. Here is the surprising truth. Your brain does not remember words because of logic. It remembers them because of emotion. Think about your native language. When you say the word home, you don't think of a definition. You feel warmth, safety, or maybe the smell of food. The word is anchored to a feeling. In English, most students have empty words. You know that sad means the opposite of happy, but the word sad feels like a piece of plastic. It has no weight. It has no soul. This is why you forget words when you need them. Your brain throws away things that don't have an emotional connection. This brings us to step 3, emotional anchoring. This is where we stop describing the outside world and start describing your inside world. We have moved through a very important journey so far. Think about it. First, we started with objects, labeling the lamp and the window. Then we moved to actions, narrating, I am making coffee. Now we are moving to feelings. Instead of looking at a dictionary to learn the word exhausted, wait until you actually feel it. After a long day at work, when you sit on your sofa, don't just sit in silence. Tell yourself, I am so exhausted. Feel the heaviness in your arms. Feel the tiredness in your eyes. Connect that physical sensation directly to the English word. When you do this, you are anchoring the language to your nervous system. You are not memorizing. You are experiencing. Maybe you are stuck in traffic and you feel frustrated. Say it. This is so frustrating. Maybe you see a beautiful sunset and you feel peaceful. Say it. Everything is so peaceful right now. When you connect English directly to your emotions, the translation bridge disappears forever. Why? Because you cannot translate a feeling. You can only feel it. If you feel angry and you think the word angry, there is no room for your native language to get in the way. The emotion and the English word become the same thing. This is a breakthrough realization for many learners. Fluent speakers are not fearless, and they don't have secret dictionaries in their pockets. They simply have a direct emotional line to their words. But even with this power, your brain is lazy. It will try to go back to your native language because it is easy. To stop this, we need to create a safe zone where your native language is not allowed to enter. Chapter 5. The No Native Language Zone. Your brain is designed to be efficient. It wants to take the path of least resistance. Right now, your native language is a massive highway. It's fast, it's easy, and your brain loves it. English, however, feels like a small, bumpy path in the woods. If you give your brain a choice, it will choose the highway every single time. This is why you can study for 2 hours, but the moment you close your book, you switch back to your native tongue and stay there for the rest of the day. To fix this, we need to build a no native language zone. This is a daily 15-minute boundary where you make a deal with yourself. For 15 minutes, your native language does not exist. It is deleted. It is gone. Now, I know what you are thinking. Only 15 minutes? That's not enough. But think about this. 15 minutes of pure, direct English thought is more powerful than 5 hours of translating. It's about the quality of the connection, not just the time. Choose a specific time of day. Maybe it's while you are taking a shower. Maybe it's during your commute or while you are preparing dinner. During these 15 minutes, you are the internal narrator. You are the labeler. You are the emotional anchor. If you see a dog, you think, dog. If you are hungry, you think, I am hungry. If you realize you don't know a word, do not reach for your phone to translate it. This is the golden rule of the zone. Instead, try to describe it using words you already know. If you forget the word for refrigerator, think the cold box for food. If you forget umbrella, think the thing for the rain. This is a psychological mystery of language learning. When you stop using a dictionary as a crutch, your brain becomes more creative. It starts to find workarounds. This is exactly what fluent speakers do when they forget a word. They don't stop the conversation. They explain the idea. At first, these 15 minutes will feel strange. You might feel a little bit lonely because you can't express your complex thoughts. You might feel like a child again. That's okay. In fact, it's perfect. You are teaching your brain that it must survive using only English. When the brain feels this need, it works harder to remember. It starts to prioritize English words because they are no longer just extra info. They are the only tools available. As the days go by, the bumpy path in the woods starts to get smoother. It becomes a road. Eventually, it becomes a highway of its own. But to make this a permanent change, you need a plan. You need a way to track your progress and stay disciplined. Chapter 6. The Blueprint. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only a possibility. Power comes when you take that knowledge and turn it into a habit. I don't want you to just watch this video and say, that was a good idea, and then go back to your old way of thinking. To help you actually change, I have created a blueprint for you. This is the 30-day internal narrator script. Think of this like a workout plan for your mind. We are going to train your English muscle every single day for 1 month. In week 1, your goal is just labeling. Every morning, find 10 objects. Touch them if you can. Name them. Chair, table, mirror, coffee. Do this for 7 days. You are training your eyes to see the world in English. In week 2, we introduce the present tense. Start narrating your simple actions. I am walking. I am opening the door. I am sitting down. Don't worry about being interesting. Be boring. Be simple. You are training your brain to connect movement with language. In week 3, we add the why. Start narrating your intentions. I am going to the kitchen because I am thirsty. I need my keys so I can go to work. Now, you are building logic in English. You are starting to connect ideas. Finally, in week 4, you enter the 15-minute no native language zone. This is your final test. Choose your 15-minute block and use everything you have learned. Label, narrate, and feel. There is a strange reaction in the brain when you reach this level. Somewhere around day 20 or 25, something amazing will happen. You will have a thought. A real, natural thought that starts in English. It won't be a translation. It will just appear. Maybe you will be walking down the street and think, "What a beautiful day." And you will realize 5 seconds later that you thought it in English. That is the moment the wall breaks down. That is the moment you realize you are not a student anymore. You are a speaker. I have prepared a guide with specific phrases and prompts for each of these 30 days. It includes the internal narrator script to give you the exact words to use when you get stuck. You can find the link in the description below. But remember, the script is just paper. You are the one who has to give it a voice. You are the one who has to make the choice every day to stay in the English path. It takes courage to be simple. It takes discipline to stay in the zone. But if you follow this blueprint, your internal dialogue will change. And when your internal dialogue changes, your life changes. Because now, we are approaching the most important part of this journey. The moment you finally stop trying and start being. You have been very patient with yourself. Think about the first day you decided to learn English. You had so much hope. You wanted to travel, to get a better job, or to make friends from all over the world. But somewhere along the way, it became a burden. It became a list of rules and a mountain of mistakes. You started to feel like you were trapped inside a cage of your own thoughts. I want you to know something today. You are not bad at English. You are not slow. You have just been trying to carry 2 languages at the same time, and that is a heavy load for anyone. The fear you feel when you speak. That is just the translator trying to be perfect. But perfection is the enemy of fluency. When you start thinking in English, you are giving yourself permission to be free. You are letting go of the need to be a human dictionary. You are finally allowing your true personality to come through the words. Fluent speakers are not people who never make mistakes. They are people who have decided that their message is more important than their grammar. They have decided to live inside the language, not just visit it for an hour a day. Imagine yourself 3 months from now. You are sitting in a cafe with a new friend. They ask you a question about your life. You don't freeze. You don't row that heavy boat across the river. You just look at them. You feel the answer in your heart, and the English words come out naturally. That version of you is waiting. But that person only exists if you start changing the voice inside your head today. You only need the courage to start. You only need the discipline to stay in the no native language zone for 15 minutes. Think about that for a moment. Just 15 minutes of being yourself in a new language. You can do this. Your brain is ready. Your heart is ready. It's time to stop translating and start living in English. If this lesson helped you see your English journey differently, please subscribe to Study English TV. We are here to help you grow, not just as a student, but as a person. I want to see your commitment. Go to the comments right now and write, I will think in English today. When you write it, you are making a promise to yourself. The bridge is ready. All you have to do is walk across. I'll see you in the next lesson.